was feeling that classic 9 to 5 burnout, so I thought, why not travel to Sri Lanka, and that too solo. And honestly, that decision was an absolute vibe, bro. Hey yo, kya scene? It's Diffbrown this side. I spent 10 days on one island riding over 500 kilometers across Sri Lanka on a rented bike. Stayed in hostels, made new friends, tried new things, explored new places, and did a few questionable things. Also, I got lost on the roads. But somehow, I kinda found myself too. Literally. So if you're planning a solo trip to Sri Lanka and have absolutely no idea where to go, what to do, or how not to get scammed by your own sense of direction, don't worry baby, you're in the right place. Damn! And before anybody asks, nah, I don't know where this accent came from.
YOLO. 2 Chainz, Thug Life.
Every time I hear myself back, I discover a new nationality. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get this show on the road. Hey yo, Chowdu, roll the tape.
Gumo, Gumo, Gumo.
Why don't you go?
Gumo, Gumo, Gumo.
Why don't you go? Now starting with our day 1. I left Mumbai airport at around 6 a.m. and landed in Sri Lanka by 9. This is the first time I'm solo tripping, and that to Sri Lanka. I know it's crazy that I have never did this before. It's like first ever time. I don't know how this vlog is gonna turn out. Like, am I even going to upload this, or it's just gonna go in my recycle bin? So far so good. I have touched down Sri Lankan airport. After getting through immigration, grabbing a SIM card and doing all the boring adult stuff, I finally stepped out of the airport around 10 a.m. and quickly hopped onto a local bus from a nearby station and headed towards Colombo. And bro, I mean, there's something weird about landing in a completely new country. Nothing has changed, yet somehow everything feels different. The unfamiliar landscapes and even the road signs. Anyway, I reached Colombo bus station by 11 a.m.
Welcome to Colombo, Sri Lanka. It's the day 1. Right now I am in Colombo and you can see this spectacular view in front of me. Isn't it so good?
And booked a tuk-tuk ride through Pick Me to my hostel. By around 11:30 a.m. I reached hostel, and for first 2 nights, this was my home sweet home. Kept my bag and headed straight out in a search of breakfast. While randomly wandering around the streets, I stumbled upon this place called Radical Art Gallery, which sounds like somewhere you would go to discuss philosophy and question society. But I was there for to see some art. Turns out it was part art gallery, part cafe.
While walking nearby, I found this art gallery which looks dope. Artworks over here looks cool enough. Like, let me just show you around.
Amazing artwork, great coffee, and good food. Basically everything I needed after running on airport energy. After breakfast though, reality hit. your boy had slept exactly 0 hours, not one. So I came back to my hostel, closed my eyes in afternoon and woke up wondering which day it was. Anyway, I stepped out to explore Colombo at night. No plans, no itinerary, just pure vibe, bro.
7 p.m. just rise across my hostel and I will look out for something nearby.
After walking a few kilometers, I heard music somewhere in the distance. And honestly, hearing random music in a city you have never been to is surprisingly convincing. So naturally, I followed it. Turns out there was a live band performing. After hanging around there for a bit, I headed towards the beach because
From tomorrow, I'm gonna rent a bike and explore more of the city, more of the places, the whole Colombo.
while walking along the coast, I noticed this brightly lit area in the distance. And as I got closer, I realized there was some kind of local event happening.
They have their performances over here and food stalls over here.
I grabbed some roti and sat there listening to the music. Did I understand a single word what they were singing? Nah. But good music has a way of removing subtitles, and honestly, it sounded great, yeah.
So it's 8 p.m. random pop-out event of Astra. Yeah, I mean the vibe is there.
Eventually, I booked a pick-me back towards the hostel because walking all the way back suddenly sounded like a terrible idea. But the night wasn't over yet, because for the first time ever, I decided to visit a casino. Played a few rounds of roulette, placed a few bets, and somehow I won. Can't tell you how much, but let's say Sri Lanka partially sponsored itself that night. For real, walking out of there felt amazing, and by the time I finally got back to the hostel, I had officially survived the day 1. No plans, no expectations, and somehow it turned out to be one of my favorite days of the trip. And trust me, we're just getting started. Day 2.
Today, and right now it's 11:30 a.m.
Woke up around 10 in the morning, took a shower, got ready and headed straight out for breakfast. And yes, I went back to exact same cafe. Now some of you are probably thinking, bro, your channel name is Diffbrown. You're in a new country. Try something different. Listen, that black coffee was so good, I wasn't about to risk disappointment before starting my day, man. It was finally time. The reason I had came all the way to Sri Lanka, because don't get me wrong, buses are fun, tuk-tuks are an experience, but nothing beats having your own 2 wheels in a new country. That's the beauty of solo traveling without holiday packages. Freedom isn't the destination, it's knowing you can change it whenever you need. So I jumped into another tuk-tuk and headed straight to the rental place. Now I don't know what the guy was playing on the speakers, but after 5 minutes I was vibing with him like I have been listening Sri Lankan music my whole life. Oh yeah. On the way I was just looking around the city. Tall buildings, the sea, people casually going about their day. I think that's what makes every trip memorable. Nobody knows who you are. You're just another face in the crowd, figuring things out as you go. Eventually, I reached the rental company, saw the scooter and immediately thought, nah.
Because I don't want to get stuck on my ride. So that's the reason I'm going right now to another rental company to get me a scooter.
That scooter looked experienced, man. I mean, not old. It looked experienced. It looked like it had seen more of Sri Lankan than this tour guides. Also, it had major faults, so I politely declined. Booked another pick-me and headed to a different rental company. This time, I was feeling confident, but Google Maps wasn't, because apparently the rental shop existed everywhere except where Google said it would. Classic. While figuring out where to go next, I somehow ended up near this beautiful stretch by the sea with railway tracks running right beside it. It honestly felt like Colombo's version of Mumbai's Marine Drive.
So damn good.
Except trains occasionally photobomb your piece, but I guess that's fine. And this is where I met a local guy named Sanji. Super chill guy. We spoke for a bit and he recommended me few places to visit. I told him what I was looking out for and he suggested to check out Go Odyssey Rentals. Honestly, by then I would started trusting random locals more than Google Maps. After reaching, thankfully this one actually existed, and finally we had a winner.
So I'm getting a scooty, which is also a good scooty. It's a 125cc scooty, but I found this place, which is pretty much a professional rental company, and I found it legitimate. It's Go Odyssey bike rental. It's in Colombo itself.
The owner greeted me with a smile, gave me a great deal, and was super professional throughout. He handed me a helmet, a raincoat, and some ropes. Basically everything except driving lessons. Before leaving, I asked him,
One advice you could give to the solo traveler people like me.
Respect the road and the rules and the speed limits. Rather than that, you are good to go.
and then finally I had my bike. And man, that feeling is hard to explain. The second I started riding, it felt like freedom. No itinerary, no tour guide, no one telling me where to be next. Just me and the road. My first stop was at Ganga Ramaya Temple. It's nearby Colombo City Center Mall. So before entering, I had to take off my shoes and make sure my shoulders and knees were covered, and honestly, I respect it. What I loved most about the architecture, it wasn't just Sri Lankan. You could actually spot influences from Thai, Indian and Chinese designs all blended into one place. I feel temples have this superpower. The second you walk in, you start speaking softer, walk slower, and
I felt that positive energy already.
so I placed my camera down, sat there quietly and just enjoyed the silence. After that, I made my way to Colombo city center in search of food. Walked around a little and grabbed myself a bowl of ramen, which, after all that traveling, genuinely tasted like a reward. As evening rolled in, I went back to that railway track by the beach. I don't know why, man, but something about that place kept pulling me back. Reached and sat there watching the peaceful sunset, and then out of nowhere, a train passed right beside the ocean. One of those moments you don't really plan, you just happen to be there for it. While sitting there, I realized sometimes travel isn't about taking famous places off a list. Sometimes it's just sitting quietly while the world carries on around you. Saw a few fishermen doing their thing, so I asked if I could give it a shot. They smiled and said, "Go for it." Didn't catch any fish. Turns out, fish have standards too. While they were finishing up for the day, mine was far from over, because Colombo at night on scooter, it's completely different vibe. No destination, no Google Maps, just riding through the city. Eventually, I found this random rooftop cafe, had dinner with a pretty amazing view, called it a day by picking up some fruits and snacks for tomorrow and headed back. Because the real road trip begins tomorrow, where the city fades away and the mountains take over. Day 3. Alright, today is the day. Colombo had been amazing, but it was finally time to leave it behind and come back later. There was just one tiny problem. It had already started drizzling. Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the rain, but just maybe not on the exact day I'm supposed to ride cars through the mountains. So I looked up at the sky, negotiated with the clouds for a bit and hoped for the best. One last black coffee, one last breakfast, and while walking back, came across this blind man singing on the street with his wife beside him. Although it made me realize art doesn't always need a stage. Back at the hostel, it was finally time to pack. Got everything strapped onto the scooter, backpack at the back, rucksack in the front.
I should be reaching there by, I don't know, 4 or 5. I just hope that it doesn't rain. Alright then, off we go, bitch!
And Kandy, here we come. Google Maps said 3 hours. Let's see if Google and I had rebuilt our relationship. After 30 minutes into the ride, I looked up at the sky one more time and said, just don't rain. The clouds replied, say less. And absolutely drenched me. Luckily, remember that raincoat the rental guy handed me yesterday? Turns out that wasn't just good customer service. That was foreshadowing. Covered my bags, zipped up the raincoat and kept chasing Kandy. As Colombo slowly disappeared behind me, everything started changing. The roads became quieter, buildings turned into little homes, traffic turned into open fields, and for the first time, I was seeing the Sri Lanka that most tourists probably never do. If I had taken a bus, these little towns would have just been names on a signboard. But on the bike, every town becomes part of your story. Kids waving, tiny tea stalls, roadside temples, locals simply going about their day. The further I rode, the less I saw attraction and the more I saw everyday life. Soon, the road slowly started climbing. The air became cooler, the views became bigger, the mountains kept unfolding one after another. Google Maps still showed 56 minutes remaining. Honestly, I wasn't even in a hurry anymore. Sometimes the destination can wait. The road itself is enough. A few hours later, I finally reached Kandy, checked into my hostel, freshened up, and that's where I met
Miguel. He's from Peru and we are searching for a place to eat and also drink.
a backpacker from Peru, an absolute legend. We headed out to explore Kandy together.
Everyone should come to Sri Lanka.
Come to Sri Lanka, where you at?
Walked into a few cafes but eventually decided, when in Sri Lanka, eat Sri Lankan food. Miguel suggested chicken kotu and another local dish, egg hopper. Safe to say, it was kinda good. Eventually, I started trusting Miguel more than Google Maps. So we headed back to the hostel. Miguel and I planned next day's adventure, said goodnight and called it a night. Because tomorrow, we were heading somewhere people had traveled for centuries.
Good morning from Kandy, Sri Lanka. Yeah, it's day 4 today, and we are gonna explore the rest of the city with my friend Michelle from Peru. And yeah, the Kandy. Let's see what Kandy got for us. Peace out.
Alright, day 4, Sacred Kandy. Still don't know what Miguel had for breakfast that morning, but man was fully charged. Today's plan, exploring one of the most important places in all of Sri Lanka. So we grabbed our helmets, jumped on the scooter and set off. One thing I loved about Kandy, everything felt calmer. The roads, the lake, life here didn't feel slow. It just didn't feel rushed. Our first stop, Kandy Lake. It felt like the entire city was built around it. The fountains, the old architecture, everything just had this peaceful vibe. From there, we stepped inside Sri Dalata Maligawa, also known as the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic, home to one of the most sacred relics in Buddhism. I thought we were visiting one temple. Turns out it was an entire temple complex. Every doorway led to something different waiting. Buddha statues, beautiful murals, even Hindu gods alongside Buddhist shrines. I wasn't expecting to see that, but that's something I genuinely loved about Sri Lanka. Different cultures, different beliefs, sharing the same place. The deeper we went, the more there was to discover. At one point, I genuinely stopped trying to remember which temple I had just walked into. Every corner had another surprise waiting. Eventually, we decided to take a guided tour. And honestly, best decision we made all day, because without him, I wouldn't have spent half of the time pretending I understood what I was looking at. He explained the temple's history and most importantly, why it's one of the most sacred places in Buddhism. Now here's something I didn't know. This temple is home to what's believed to be Buddha's sacred tooth relic. Our guide explained that centuries ago, during invasions in India, the relic was secretly brought to Sri Lanka by Princess Hemamala and Prince Danta. Legend says she hid the relic in her hair throughout the journey. It eventually reached Sri Lanka and has been revered here ever since. Today, the relic is kept inside a beautifully crafted golden casket, hidden deep within the inner chamber. Only the specially appointed monks are allowed inside. Visitors never actually see the tooth itself, only the sacred casket, and that too during a short viewing window each day. By evening, it was time to say goodbye to Miguel, cause it was his last day in Sri Lanka and he was heading back to Peru. I dropped him off at the bus station. Before leaving, he said,
Sri Lanka. Actually, yeah, it turned to be one of my favorite countries. And now I want to go to India. Definitely.
For real, I'm gonna show him around India when he comes. So yeah, I'm gonna take it to the different pin codes of India for sure.
We both laughed, gave each other a hug, and just like that, another good person became another good memory. After dropping him off, I headed back to the temple because earlier the main chamber hadn't opened yet. The golden casket is only revealed during a short viewing window in the evening and only for a few minutes. So I waited along with everyone else and finally the window opened just for a moment, for a glimpse that lasts only a few seconds, yet somehow it still feels worth the wait. After that, I grabbed some dinner, headed back to the hostel and called it a night because tomorrow we ride again.
Good morning from Kandy, Sri Lanka. It's my day 5. So I will be exploring Kandy more, to the elephant orphanage sanctuary which is just nearby. Like not that near, it's like 1 hour though. And also I'm planning to go few of the cultural events. There's also a gem museum that I wanted to visit. So far I've planned this. Let's go.
My first stop happened because of a random conversation. The previous night, I met a guy while having dinner near my hostel. He mentioned his great-grandfather owned a gem museum and insisted I should check it out. So I did. Later that day, his assistant walked me through the entire process, how gemstones are mined, sorted, cut, and eventually turned into the shiny pieces you see in jewelry stores. I never realized how much work goes into a single gem. Before I left, he also showed me a meteoroid. Didn't expect to find a piece of outer space inside a gem museum. It was actually pretty fascinating. The museum also had old photographs of Sri Lanka from decades ago. It almost felt like traveling through time. Same country, completely different era.
This all collection which I have been showing you is from his grandfather, who has been a collector.
Next stop was Pinnawala, 1 hour from Kandy, and this was something I had been looking forward to.
I came to the Pinnawala village. It is like 1 hour from Kandy, and I reached here at the elephant park. I will be experiencing feeding elephants, spending time with elephants.
The moment I arrived, elephants everywhere. I got to feed her as well. For an animal that size, she was very gentle. Moments like this, you don't really forget. From there, I headed to Pinnawala Zoo, saw all kinds of birds, reptiles, and animals from around the world. But the craziest part, I actually got to feed a tiger and even a leopard. Not exactly something you get to tick off every day.
So far so good. Right now, I'm going to a cultural show of Sri Lanka, which is just 5 minutes from here. They're gonna have some Sri Lankan dance and Sri Lankan music.
As the evening rolled in, I made my way to the Kandy Lake Club to experience one of Sri Lanka's traditional cultural dance performance. The moment the show began, the entire atmosphere changed. The sound of the drums filled the hall and one performance slowly turned into another. Every dance had its own rhythm, its own costumes, and its own story. Some performances were calm and graceful, others were packed with energy. And then the fire dancers walked. Safe to say that became my favorite part of the show. What I enjoyed most was how every performance represented a different part of Sri Lankan culture. It wasn't just a dance show, it felt like a celebration of tradition. By the time the final performance ended, the applause said it all. As I got back to the hostel, I was completely exhausted. Today had a bit of everything: history, wildlife, culture, and a surprise shot from an elephant. Not a bad way to spend day 5 actually. But tomorrow, the mountains stay behind because we are finally heading south towards the beaches. Yeah.
It's my day.
Day 6 today.
And right now it's 10 a.m. in the morning. So I'm gonna ride for around 6 hours. So I was just getting prepared, doing some bit of exercise. So I'm gonna have a quick breakfast and leave in a bit. So
The mountains were behind me and the south coast was calling. Before hitting the road, I decided to slow things down for a bit. Got a quick workout in, did a little meditation, had breakfast, and got everything packed.
it's time to leave the mountains and go to the beach side. I'm all set up. My ride is all set up. Let's go.
Backpack, check. Rucksack, check. Helmet, check. Google Maps? Well, we'll come back to that. Everything was finally strapped onto the bike. I fired up the engine, put on the helmet, looked at Google Maps. It showed 6 hours. I said, easy. The first half of the ride was absolutely beautiful. Cool mountain air, twisty roads, mist floating between the hills, tea plantations everywhere. Those are the kind of roads you don't want to rush through. You just want to keep riding. Hour after hour, everything was going perfectly. Google Maps slowly counted down. 5 hours, 4, 3. I thought we are doing great. But it was a big mistake. Somewhere after the 3 hours mark, Google Maps decided this adventure needed an update. The road became narrower, then it stopped looking like a road altogether. Before I knew it, I was surrounded by nothing but jungle. Mud everywhere, water crossing the road, not another traveler in sight. Just trees, birds, silence, and me wondering there's absolutely no way this is the fastest route.
Here I am, middle of nowhere. I think I'm lost. Like for real, I just took a wrong turn. I don't know. Google Maps is saying it's 2 hours 11.
The funny part, the deeper I went, the more beautiful it became. Peacocks wandering around, tea plantations stretching across the hills, birds I had never seen before. It felt like I had accidentally unlocked a secret side quest in Sri Lanka. The only problem was I had absolutely no idea where I was. Eventually, I found a few locals. Asked them how to get back to the main road. They pointed me in the right direction. I thanked them and kept riding. A little while later, I finally came across a signboard.
So that's where I came from, out of nowhere.
So that's where Google Maps had secretly taken me. Good to know, not long after, I met another group of locals. This time, around 4 or 5 of them, they asked where I was heading. I said, Weligama. One of them laughed, looked at my phone and said, don't trust Google Maps. Instead, they started explaining the route junction by junction. Made sure I understood. They all gave me a fist bumps, wished me a safe ride and sent me on my way. From there, I followed their directions, one junction at a time. The roads got wider and eventually the ocean was getting closer. By the time I finally rolled into Weligama,
Yeah, it was a very long ride and I directly came and took a shower. My everything got wet, like my wallet and every other stuff which was kinda in my bag got wet. I came here to have dinner.
grabbed a quick dinner, checked into the hostel and
This was my day 6. Tomorrow it's gonna be a new day. I have planned a few of the things that I'm gonna do tomorrow. So for now I'm just really tired and I'm just gonna sleep off. So yeah, that's it for today. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.
day 7.
Let's go. it's day 7, bro.
After yesterday's jungle adventure, it was finally time for a slower day. I woke up to this view, surfers in the water, sun shining, and the sound of waves instead of traffic.
Right now it's 11 a.m. The day is kinda cloudy today. It seems like it will rain, but it's not gonna stop me from exploring, you know. So today, right now, it's Weligama. I'm gonna have my breakfast and explore nearby places.
Safe to say, I wasn't in a hurry anymore. Breakfast somehow tasted better when the ocean was right in front of you. Today's destination, Galle. But unlike yesterday, I wasn't racing against Google Maps. On the way, I noticed a small fishing dock, so naturally, I stopped. Fishermen were unloading their fresh catch. Boats kept coming in, and I don't know why, but I ended up standing there for a good few minutes, just watching everyone do their thing. Asked a fisherman if he can.
Nakwa botina firualka. Na firu na.
Alright, so back on the road. The ride itself became the part of the experience. Coconut trees, empty beaches, the ocean constantly appearing beside me. Even passing through a hangama, I caught myself slowing down just to take it all in. Then, out of nowhere, there was an aeroplane parked beside the road. Definitely not something you expect to see during a bike ride. Eventually, I reached Galle, my first stop, the famous Galle Lighthouse. Standing there with the beach on one side and the centuries of history on the other, it was a pretty cool feeling, to be honest. From there, I wandered around the streets inside Galle Fort, and this place had so much character, man. Little cafes, souvenir shops, old colonial buildings, art galleries tucked away in quiet corners. I stepped inside the Galle Fort Art Gallery. Every canvas had its own personality, from colorful paintings to detailed artwork. Honestly, I'm no art expert, but I genuinely enjoyed walking through this gallery. Some pieces made you stop, others just made you wonder what the artist was thinking. Of course, I couldn't live without checking out a few souvenir shops, even if it mostly meant convincing myself I definitely needed this. Later on, I headed towards the Galle Fort. One thing you should know about Galle Fort is it wasn't built overnight. The Portuguese first built it in 16th century. Later, the Dutch expanded it into the massive fort you see today. Now, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Walking along these old walls, you can see the Indian Ocean stretching endlessly beside you. History with one heck of a view, man. By evening, it was time to head back. Somewhere along the way, I stopped for a fresh coconut. Exactly what I needed after riding all day. And I was back at the hostel. The timing couldn't have been better. The sun was beginning to set, people were surfing, music started playing, and that's when I met John Cut, the DJ for the evening. We got talking.
He traveled world basically, and it's so chill. He gave me a few good places, suggestions to go within 5 months to Sri Lanka, right? Yeah. So how was your experience overall?
It was lovely.
Yeah.
It was lovely. Now it's off season. It was really lovely. I could spend really good time in beaches.
Oh, that's good.
He recommended me a few hidden beaches, some local food spots, and then he asked me something completely unexpected. Want to come to a private event tomorrow? He showed me the flyer, a new moon gathering, opening circles, ecstatic dance, meditation, connection. Honestly, I had absolutely no idea what half of it meant, but that's exactly why I said yes. Sometimes the best experiences begin with I have never done this before. So later that night, I headed over to the Weligama Marriott, grabbed some dinner, a drink, and call it a day. Because tomorrow, I wasn't just exploring another place. I was about to experience something completely out of my comfort zone.
So far, it's my
Day
day 8 at Sri Lanka, and today I have planned soulful kind of thing which my friend who I met yesterday has invited me. That he is like, bro, come on, you gotta see it. just be my guest. It's a new experience. You have never experienced this. And he was like, bro, you just come. And I'm like, okay, man, I will be there. He shared me the flyer and everything, so I'm gonna be right there. And later on, I'm planning to go at Dots and Bay. So there's a party which is happening over there. It's time to party!
Today wasn't about exploring another city, it wasn't about riding another 100 kilometers or taking another place off my list, as it all started with one conversation yesterday when John Cart invited me to a private event. To be honest, I had absolutely no idea what I was walking into, and maybe that was the exciting part. The morning was slow, breakfast by the beach, a good book, a hammock, and absolutely nowhere to be. After 6 days of constantly moving, doing nothing actually felt pretty great. Later that afternoon, I grabbed some lunch, hopped on the bike and made my way to the event. On the way, I came across this beautiful viewpoint.
I'm just like 15 minutes away from that location. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. He was like, it's so random. I too even don't know what exactly that is, to be honest. So random. Saw this beautiful location, so I just stopped by, and damn, it's so good, like looking at this scenic views while just riding your bike.
Cool looking fish boats, the ocean, perfect weather, one of those moments you stop riding for one reason other than just to look around and soak it all in. Eventually, I reached the venue. The first thing I noticed, people from all over the world sitting together in one big circle. Different countries, different backgrounds, different stories. Although I didn't film much here, not because I forget, but it didn't just feel right. Some moments are better experienced than recorded. A lady welcomed everyone and started talking about life, being present and living with intention. Whether you agreed with everything or not, it definitely gave you something to think about. After that, we all sat down to meditate. No phones, no conversations, just silence. Everyone was paired up with a stranger, and even I was. We were asked to close our eyes, talk, listen, and simply be present with another person. It felt a little awkward at first, to be honest. I mean, when was the last time you met someone and 5 minutes later you were having a conversation with your eyes closed? But after a while, the awkwardness disappeared. Then, John Cart walked over to his deck, started the music, and the ecstatic dance session began. The only rule? Nah, there were no rules. Dance, music, sit, close your eyes, do whatever feels natural. Nobody was judging anyone. Nobody cared how good you danced. Nobody even looked at you. For the first few minutes, I definitely was self-conscious. Then I looked around and realized everyone else had already let go. So I did too. And that freedom felt surprisingly refreshing. Not because I suddenly became a great dancer. Trust me, that definitely didn't happen. But because for once, nobody expected you to be anything. You could simply exist. By the time it ended, I thanked John Cart, said goodbye, but I wasn't quite ready to call it a night. So I rode towards Hiriketiya to check out a techno party at Dots Bay House. Completely different vibe, completely different crowd. Not gonna lie, the night ended on a pretty high note. And finally made it back to the hostel. Around 4 in the morning, safe to say, day 8 was unlike anything I had ever experienced. Day 9. Let's just say the previous night caught up with me. I woke up around 1 in the afternoon. Not exactly the early start I had planned. The first stop of the day, the doctor's house.
Good morning from Weligama. Oh no, it's not Weligama. Morning from Madiha, Sri Lanka. Today it's my 9th day in Sri Lanka. Right now I'm at the doctor house. Yesterday at the Dots and Bay Club, and it was great. It was incredible. Now I'm here to have my lunch at the doctor's house. There was also a party yesterday at doctor's house, but it was kind of banned. So I was like skeptical about the band and some techno vibe. So I chose techno. Later on, I'm gonna go surf. Let's see what this day brings for me. Peace out.
I had heard a lot about this place, and the moment I walked in, I got it. Vintage interiors, surfboards hanging around, graffiti on the wall, plants everywhere. It didn't feel like a cafe. It felt like a place people never wanted to leave. Outside, The weather couldn't have been better. Bright blue water, clean waves, sunshine, and the kind of day that almost forces you to get into the ocean. I ordered myself a burger and fries, took my time with the lunch, and sat there looking at the waves because later that evening I was finally going to surf, or at least I could say try to. After lunch, I headed back to the hostel for a bit as I was still running on very little sleep. So I took a quick power nap and around 4:30 came out
To surf. Right now it's 4:30 p.m. I met a guy earlier who said you can come up at 4:30 at his place where he is gonna teach me how to surf. He's gonna be my instructor, basically teaching me how to surf, how to balance and stuff like that. I have surfed before, but that too in Goa. I'm just a beginner, not an advanced level, but right now I'm in Sri Lanka. I am gonna ride the waves. Hell yeah, that's how we gonna do it. So right now I'm heading to his place where he will meet me and he's gonna instruct me how to do it further. Let's go. Hey Devon, what's up, man?
When I got there, he introduced me to the instructor who would be teaching me.
What's up, man? All good, all good. You gonna teach me how to surf, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah. Alright, alright. The waves looks kinda good to me for today. I mean, yeah, check it out.
First things first, he handed me a wetsuit
So to wear just because, you know, I won't be caught up in the heat.
and before we even touched the water, he spent a good amount of time explaining me the basics, how to read the waves, when to paddle, how to position yourself on the board, how to stand up, and probably the most important lesson, how to fall safely without letting the board come back and hit you. Turns out, surfing starts long before you catch your first wave. After a bit of practice on the sand, it was finally time. We carried the boards into the water, waited for the right wave, and gave it a shot. To my surprise, I actually managed to ride a wave on my very first attempt. Although not every wave was successful, but every wipeout somehow made the next one even more fun. By the end of the session, looking back, I was thinking, it's crazy how many things I would have never experienced if I hadn't taken this random solo trip. After surfing, I headed back to the hostel, took a shower and went for a dinner. Later that night, I went to check out La Mana. Unfortunately,
It was closed. They said this is not, peak season, so it reopens in August.
so instead, I found a nearby restaurant and
I had few oysters and little bits of bite. Lamana was closed. I was just disheartened to know this, but yeah, I guess it's fine.
called it a night. One last sleep by the ocean before the final ride to Colombo.
Let's go. Morning from Weligama, Sri Lanka. Today is the 10th day of my whole trip. It's also the last day. I'm gonna catch my flight. I'm in the night. Right now I'm at the hostel itself. So I had my quick breakfast and I'm gonna leave for Colombo. This part is what I was waiting for so long. This route is actually most scenic route in this part. Right now it's 11 a.m. I'm gonna leave in a bit, get my bike ready too. I've already fueled it up. I'm about to go to Colombo on my bike. Ready, I have put all my stuff. So far it looks so sunny and cloudy. The weather looks pretty good. So, there are two routes to go from here. One is to go directly through the highway, which will take me around 2 hours to reach. But no scenic route. That's just a highway. And another route is the one which I'm gonna go. It's the most scenic route. However, it takes like around 4 to 5 hours to reach Colombo. I got my ride all packed up. Let's start with this trip. Already, let's fucking go, bitch.
Everything was packed, helmet on, engine started, and let's go! The funny thing about the last day was that every stop felt a little more special. Maybe because I knew it was the last time I would be riding this road. Not too far into the ride, I pulled over just to admire the waves one last time. The ocean had been beside me for the last few days, and somehow it never looked the same twice. A little further ahead, I came across fishermen drying fish under the sun. Rows and rows of them. Just another glimpse into everyday life along the coast. Not long after that, I spotted another fisherman selling live fish he had just caught from nearby lake. Moments like this are exactly why I love traveling on a bike, man. You notice things you would probably drive straight past otherwise. Back on the road, the ride just kept getting better. Blue water on one side, a cool sea breeze, and roads that made you forget how many hours you had already been riding. I even spotted a giant monitor lizard crossing the road. As I kept riding, roadside watermelon stalls started appearing every few kilometers. Eventually, I stopped for a fresh coconut, walked over to the beach beside it, enjoyed my coconut, and stayed there longer than I intended. Further along the coast, I met a local rider who noticed I was traveling solo. So we rode together for a while until he showed me a quiet little spot by the sea where I could just take a break. I'm really glad that he noticed me. I parked the bike by the sea, sat down on the trunk, closed my eyes, and for a few minutes did absolutely nothing. Just the waves, the wind, and the sound of the ocean. By then, I was getting hungry, and out of nowhere, I spotted an Indian restaurant called Dhaba. After trying so many different cuisines over the past few days, that Indian meal tasted like
Comfort food after so long. Let's collaborate with some Indian bread. I'm recharged. I'm back on it, back on track. Showing me more 1 hour 40 minutes or so to reach Colombo.
One of my last stops was a sea turtle conservation project. Although they didn't allow me filming during the briefing, which I completely respected. But afterwards, I got the chance to release a few baby turtles into the ocean. Watching them slowly disappear into the waves was one of those moments that quietly stays with you. The closer I got to Colombo, the more everything slowly started changing. Villages turned into towns, towns turned into busy city again. It almost felt like watching the trip rewind itself. Eventually, I reached the rental shop, the same place where this journey had really begun.
Ride has come to an end. I have reached Colombo, where I took this bike from. And I gotta catch my flight, gotta reach airport by what? 8? So right now it's 5 p.m. and I reached Colombo to give the bike back, and it didn't even got one single scratch. Yeah, I kept it as it's my own bike. And yeah, I mean, thanks to my friend who rented me the scooter, he gave me a place to change and shower and just get fresh. So yeah, I mean, I guess my trip is about to end. It was one of the best trips, and I got that fucking thing, bro. Right now, I have to pack and just leave from here to the airport, and I loved it in here. Sri Lanka, you treated me real good, man, and I will be back real soon.
Handing over the keys felt surprisingly strange. That bike had taken me across mountains, rain, jungle, beaches, and nearly 500 kilometers without a single problem. The owner said,
So I'm asking you to come back and see the country. Not enough for the 7 days. You need like at least 1 month to see the whole island. I hope you enjoyed it.
Bro, for real, I enjoyed it a lot. Meet you again, man. Thanks a lot for having me.
Safe flights.
now there was only one challenge left: making it to the airport on time. Traffic wasn't exactly on my side that day, and for a while I genuinely thought that I would really miss my flight. Thankfully, my cab driver knew exactly what he was doing. He got me there just in time, grabbed my bags and ran inside. Boarded the flight literally at the last minute. Of course,
Immigration so quick. I'm so glad I made it.
a few hours later, I landed back in Mumbai, and just like that, 10 days, hundreds of kilometers, countless memories, all became stories I will never forget. My 10-day solo trip across Sri Lanka came to an end. If you enjoyed watching this journey, don't forget to like and sub and become the part of the Diff gang, bro. Cause the dream is simple: to leave my 9 to 5 someday, travel the world, and keep sharing stories like this with all of you. It genuinely means a lot, man. Also, before you leave, just know that everything you have watched, from the filming to the editing to the scripts and the voiceover, was done by yours truly. Even the intro music was made by me, with the beat produced by Kala. So thank you for watching till the very end. Peace out.